Our daily burst of joy today is taken from 2 Corinthians 10, verses 4 and 5, and it says, "The weapons we fight with are not weapons of the world. On the contrary, they have divine power to demolish strongholds. We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take every thought captive and make it obedient to Christ." Whew. Followers of Jesus are given spiritual weapons that pull down strongholds in our lives. A stronghold is an area where we're deceived into a certain way of thinking that's contrary to God. God says here that we've been given divine power to overthrow enemy strongholds by taking our thoughts while controlling them and bringing them in alignment with God's word. We can destroy our mental and emotional barriers and demolish these strongholds by using the spiritual weapons God has given his followers. This includes his word, which is his truth, all the fruits of his spirit, and his complete spiritual armor is more than enough to guard our minds and tear down these strongholds. Prayer and praise are also spiritual weapons. Just utilizing the spiritual fruit weapon of self-control is enough to discipline our minds and refuse to entertain everything that falls into our minds or any claim or argument that's against God. Self-control is the ability to allow God's power in us to do his will and to think his thoughts, as described in Philippians 4:8. Choose to test your thoughts. Sometimes I find myself thinking crazy thoughts about things, circumstances, and people, and when these thoughts fill me with stress, anxiety, or yuck, I know they're not from God. This means that I need to cast them out of my mind, means to push them out, and replace them with something else that is right and true and pure and noble and lovely and excellent and admirable and worthy of praise from the truth of God's word. I choose immediately not to allow those yucky, evil, anxious thoughts to take root or bind to my mind. You see, I do have the ability to do this only because I'm a follower of Jesus, and he equips me and helps me and gives me all I need for this life. He promises to do that and give me all I need to obey his word. And one thing he commanded today in his word is to take all my thoughts captive and make them obedient to him. I can do this because he's given me all I need. Many times we don't believe that we can, but let me tell you, that's not going to be easy. That's because the devil only attacks one area, that's our mind. Because when he attacks our minds, deceives our thinking, and sets up shop in our minds by establishing a stronghold, he's got all of us. Let's choose today not to allow that any longer. And as Joyce Meyer makes a good suggestion, ask God to reveal any strongholds the enemy may have placed in your mind, and then study the scriptures that reveal those strongholds. Meditate on them. God bless you.